Welcome back to another episode of St. Francis Ministries Conversation video podcast. I'm Father Andrew O'Connor, the Executive Officer for Mission and Ministry, and today I'm delighted to welcome two great colleagues from our Fatherhood program, our Project Heart, Todd Hadnot and Vernon Kampe. And guys, welcome to Conversations. I'm looking forward to chatting with you today.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, glad to have you. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about yourselves? Tell me, your name and your position and what you do here at St. Francis.
Well, I'm Todd Hadnot, and I've been with St. Francis for a total of 28 years.
Wow.
The last 9 years, I've actually worked with the Fatherhood program. We've had several different grants. Prior to our Fatherhood FIRE grant, we had a state grant, state of Kansas, where we did some fatherhood work. That was very successful. And then we also received the Fatherhood FIRE grant. We completed that last summer. So we've completed that grant, and we are currently working. We were awarded the couples grant that allows us to work with not only the fathers, but also with couples. So we're real pleased to be able to do that. As far as how does that fit in our game plan? It fits perfect. We are now able to serve, the entire family. We can do couples, individuals, and also we can serve the moms in child welfare. A lot of times a lot of the mothers are the ones that are working through the system, and we're able to provide a service for them that we think is very beneficial, and also provide some additional, not only relationship skills, but also some parenting skills on the backside. So we're able to do that for them, and we're real pleased with the work we're doing with that.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that great introduction. Vernon, tell me about yourself.
I've been part of St. Francis, almost every one of his grants.
Yeah.
Yes. So I started in 2018, so I've been here right at 8. It'll be 8 years in October. And I went from running to Emporia to Newton and teaching in Wichita with the first grant to also doing a little bit of that in the Fatherhood FIRE part. And I will say that COVID actually helped our program. The fact that we had to go online for it to be able to, we couldn't meet each other, and it allowed us to open up the field to be able to reach people all over. I'd even had a father that was in Africa.
Oh, wow.
That was part of ours. He moved over there, and his wife had passed away, but for him to get custody of the child, he had to go through a Kansas process.
So we're really international in scope is what we're saying.
Yeah, it could be. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Vernon, you're a case manager and a facilitator with Project Heart. Todd, you're the director of the program. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Project Heart is?
Sure. Really, Project Heart, it is a federal funded grant.
Okay.
It's on a 5-year cycle. That allows us to work with, the way the grant was written is that it's really a couples grant, but because we work with moms and individuals, our proposal included us working with couples and individuals and mothers. So for us, it's a great grant. It allows us to really work with the whole family, minus the children. But we do keep track of those children. We do, track some information on those kids to make sure, we're providing the right service for them. Example of that would be if it's a smaller child, say 5 years and under, we have a specific class for that. If it's say a teenager, we have a specific class for that. So we actually have, I think it's 3 different parenting classes that we offer. And what we've done with this Heart grant is that we're able to really drill down and make sure we're providing specific services for that family. It's not a, one size fit all. We look at that family, we do assessments, And once we complete that, then we could do what we call a treatment plan. And then we figure out what services that family needs, what works best for that family. And not only that, we also figure out what times work best. With the HEART program, we focus on looking at the work schedules of parents. We offer classes during the day, typically from 10 to noon during the weekdays. And then on weekends, we offer a Saturday class. We do not offer classes on Fridays right now or Sundays. However, sometimes we do have to work on Sundays just to be able to get a hold of the parents. But we really like the evening classes. That's where the majority of our families attend. And just because, out in Western Nebraska, there's a different time zone there.
Oh, yeah.
So we also offer classes, stagger those at different times.
Sure.
We typically start at 6 p.m. To 8 p.m. What we do for those ones that are in a different time zone, we stagger that to start at 7 o'clock. So that gives the families time to get home, possibly grab something to eat, and then get things situated, and then they can come to class via Zoom.
What does HEART actually stand for?
Sure. It stands for Helping Every Area of Relationships Thrive.
That is a mouthful of an acronym.
Yes.
So we've talked a little bit. You've talked a little bit about the different courses. How many courses are there, and what do we call them?
Sure. We have a total of 5 different courses. We have 2 that covers the couples relationship material.
Okay.
One is called Elevate. That's for couples. And we also have a program called Together We Can. That's for individuals, with the focus of working on co-parenting. And then as far as the parenting side of our program, we have a program called Active Parenting. That's for ages 0 to 8. And we have a program, it's called the Parent Project Junior. That's for ages 5 to 10. And then we have a program called the Parent Project Senior, and that's for ages 10 to 18.
Okay. Awesome. That's a great options. The
Connections to Success.
Connections to Success. Yes. That's more done by the case managers.
Okay.
It's more of a help them write a resume, help them build self-esteem, job finding, skills, websites to go out to, and we help them make a 30-second commercial. It's when you're in your interview and they say, "So tell me a little about yourself."
Right. So how they can can
tailor that to the expectation of the one doing the interview.
Yeah. So it sounds like a really happy mix between sort of the theory and that kind of content, as well as sort of the practical skills, and even really putting some of those skills into practice.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And these are all evidence-based programs that the federal government has approved. So that's always helpful.
So we're not just sort of making it up as we go.
They're not making them
working. Yeah, we're really using stuff that's tested and true and has a positive outcome.
That is correct.
In terms of the place that Project HEART kind of holds in the sort of constellation of what we do at St. Francis, why is it important for us to offer this program?
I think it's important just because we work in multiple states. St. Francis is working with, children that are in custody, foster care, things like that. And so what we're able to do is almost every case, they're required to do a parenting class where we're able to provide that service. They don't have to go outside of us to find something. We work really close with our partners at St. Francis. They make the referrals, and we're able to provide those services for them.
So that's really an example of how, sort of serving the larger mission, we're also providing some of the services that people are being told they have to get. And and so instead of saying, well, hey, good luck with that, sure, we're saying, hey, we have something here. We have a tool that we can help you.
And because we have the grant, we're able to offer it for free.
Yeah, that's a great point.
A lot of them don't have the funds to go out and find a local organization to provide that for them. And we not only have it online and where they don't have to drive.
Yeah.
We also give them all of the curriculum they need to get through the process.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about how the sort of our international reach with our client we had in Africa. Tell me a little bit about where these programs, where Project Heart is available. Where are we doing Project Heart?
Sure. We're doing it if we have clients from Nebraska. We have starting to get more clients from Arkansas. Few from Oklahoma. Those are the two newest places, Kansas and Texas.
Yeah, so really almost the whole St. Francis footprint. Yeah, this is something we're making available across our large, our large footprint, and that technology helps make that happen and
works wonderful when it works.
When it works, yeah. So we all know that. And let's take a moment to kind of maybe go back a little stroll down memory lane. Tell me a little bit about Fatherhood FIRE. That was another program you've mentioned before, and really kind of since I've been to St. Francis, that was sort of our flagship for this kind of work. Tell me a little bit about Fatherhood FIRE then.
Sure. For the agency, it was a first. We've like I said, we had a state grant. It was a very small grant, but we did provide services. Like Vernon said, we travel really all over Kansas. I can remember times, going from, Hutchinson, Great Bend, Wellington, just being able to provide those services. That was before we discovered internet and
that's right,
online classes. So, but yeah, I think it's just a great service. I mean,
sure,
that we provide.
With the Fatherhood grant, we focused on fathers because fathers seem to be somewhat of the left out part of this whole process. And they get out there and they think they're all by themselves or they're all alone. Nobody understands what I'm going through. And I think that's where our programs have shown them you're online with 15 or 20 other people that are going through the same things. And it's kind of interesting. Usually when we first start a class, nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be told you have to do something.
Right.
But by the end of the class, they're all not wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Because they've connected and they've found people that understand what they're going through and they're getting good information that you'll get them all to say, oh, I wish I'd have known this years ago.
Yeah.
And that's been part of the eye-opening thing to me. Most of them will tell you, I either didn't have a dad or I had a dad, but he wasn't much there.
Yeah.
And so they don't know how to help themselves, help their children.
Yeah. There's something really powerful in what you're describing, that power of that cohort, right? They, as we often realize, many of the people who come into care with St. Francis don't want to be here. It's not voluntary. And yet over the course of their time in the class with you and the work that we put into it, they discover a community, they discover the information that they need. They realize they're not alone, which is really powerful. And all of that, to come to the end of the time and be like, oh, I don't want to leave. And
some of them actually share information. We can't share their information.
Right.
But they can share their own information.
Yeah.
And then because they're all at different stages, a lot of different ages, and they'll get on and we'll have to bring him back in because they'll get on a problem they've and ask, hey, has anybody got any ideas? Have you ever done this before? Or how do I do this? And they're all sharing. It helps them. That's why we call our those in the classes facilitators, not instructors, not teachers.
Right.
They're helping all of our participants realize how much they already know that they didn't know.
Right.
And they begin to share it with others. And then we add a little more information in there and they're in better shape than they thought they were.
Yeah, I think that's really both beautiful and powerful. That sort of helping them knit back together something that's been torn or something that didn't kind of come together right in the first place, and to also sort of be breaking some of those generational patterns. So that that the kids that these men and these families are raising have a better chance, and the kids that they will raise will have a better chance, and seeing that go forward. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time.
Positive cycle going instead of the negative.
I would like to also add, with that FIRE grant, one of the things, really early on into the cohort of the 5 years, we discovered that there was a lot of mothers that needed the service. And so that's kind of how we brought the mothers into the program. We got permission from the federal government to be able to provide services for the moms as well. So that's kind of how we started serving the moms, is through that, because we realized that we had a lot of moms that needed a service that wasn't being provided. So on the parenting side, parenting programs that we use, they're really good curriculums for both mothers and fathers, but really for single mothers. We have a program called a Parent Project, and I taught a lot of parenting classes, and it's probably one of the best in-depth, detailed programs that we offer, just because of the content of the curriculum. And, it really works well with those older teens. We have a version that's the Parent Project Junior. That's for the ages, I think it's 5 to 10. And then the senior is for those, we call them unruly teenagers. And it covers anything from truancy to, drug and alcohol use. We don't provide drug and alcohol services, but St. Francis has a drug and alcohol program that we can refer them to. And same thing with the mothers. A lot of our families that we deal with are really struggling with, substance abuse. And so it's just nice that we can get those families and help connect them to resources. I know Vernon has had a father, I think, that was in a different state that was struggling to find drug and alcohol services.
Just recently. It contacted me and asked me if I was in Kansas, and I said yes, and he was like, is there any programs there? And I was like, they're all over. And so the place he was at or was supposed to go to in Texas, he said they lost my paperwork 4 times already, and I just want something more dependable. And this is one thing I need to do towards working to getting my children back. And so I gave him a website, 211. And you put your zip code in there, or any zip code you want, and it'll bring up all of the stuff that's available. He ended up coming somewhere in Kansas to get his.
Fantastic.
And then he did mention that we, for both fatherhood and for this the program HARP grant, we go into a couple, 3 of the jails and try to get them to, try to give them some parenting skills that they may not have, and encourage them and give them different ways to connect to their children.
That's really lovely. And so tell me a little bit more about what that work looks like. Where are you going? What are you doing when you're in there?
Well, right now we are in Saline County facility, and we are in Reno counties. Before we were in Lubbock counties, but we need to hire somebody new down there. Somebody moved on, but we go in there and we spend 4 weeks with them. Ours is on a Monday, so we go in from 9 to 11, and then we come back after their lunch and go from 1 to 3 or so. And so we're trying to give them the skills But most of all, we're trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions or lack of actions, that it's not always the mother's fault, not always grandma's fault. Sometimes you have to say it's my fault.
Yep.
And then we help them build a little self-esteem, and we try to help them if they need it. Nobody wants to fill out a resume when you've got a break in your job service, because you've got to explain that. And we try to spin it positive. Don't focus on the negative. What did you do while you were in here? And some of them have actually told us, "Oh, I wasn't," because we always do at the beginning of each class, "Tell me something you're grateful for today."
Yeah.
And I've had them tell me, "I'm grateful that I'm here, because if I hadn't got here, I'd be dead. I was going down that wrong road, and this is the only reason I'm sober, and I'm taking advantage of the opportunities I've had here. I got my GED, and I go into the chapel services, and you guys are coming, and it's just this time I've decided that to make this a positive."
Yeah, that's really the kind of cool thing about real accountability, right? It's not just punishment. It's not, well, you did something wrong, now you got to do your time. It's really about, how do I rehabilitate? How do I set a new direction for my life? And take account for what I did wrong, but also how am I going to build on that, and how am I going to move forward?
And how do I get past it?
Yeah.
It's especially with their children and their significant other or their ex, and we try to be as real with them as we can, and still work on finding the positive that they can do to move on from there.
Yeah, that's really remarkable, and I got to imagine it's pretty powerful when you see breakthroughs and we see people how to start putting more than one or two good days together, and making that movement forward. So we've talked a little bit about sort of the array of programs that you guys have been a part of, and kind of what they're for. I'd like to go a little deeper in that. So who is Project Heart for? What are the people we're serving? What are they like? What are their needs? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. It is a federal grant, which means that, it's open to the public. We do serve a lot of clients that are going through St. Francis, but it is a community-based grant, so we can serve anyone as long as they have that they're at least 18 years or older, and that they have children, at least under the age of 24 in the home. But as far as our population that we serve, like we said, it's moms. We can, cover the moms, the dads. A lot of times people think, because it is a relationship program, that the couples have to be together or married. And the answer is no. Our goal is to try and get those couples or those individuals that share a child to at least be able to get along and take care of that child. So we really focus on that. There's rare occasions where there may be a no contact order. But if there's no contact order, we pretty much say, regardless of how you feel about the other person, you're going to benefit by being in the same class. So that's kind of the population we serve. We do get a lot of individuals, I would say. And I think on the individual side, they're mostly dads. And so I think with our Together We Can, those dads really learn a lot about, working together with this significant other, for the child's sake, making sure that they're doing things that align with, helping that child be successful. Because I think we all know that regardless of what dad has done, unless there's some criminal charges that would prevent him from being around his child, there's so much data that's been around for many years that shows that if that father is involved with that child's going to have a better outcome in life. So we really push that. We're really big on making sure that the dads are, responsible as far as like if they owe child support.
Yep.
You know, in this world, you could easily dodge child support.
Right.
But we let dads know that, you know, they're responsible for their child. They're responsible for, you know, whatever that financial part of it is. We really push that. And same things with the moms. I mean, there might be moms that are absent. You know, we really push that with them. Prior to my working with the families, I've done some work with, you know, the independent living type age kids.
Yeah.
And we used to have what they call RIAC meetings. And I will never forget, you know, where, you know, you'd be discussing, you know, some pretty serious topics with boys and girls. But, you know, to hear those girls talk about, you know, all they really want is to be able to have their father in their life. And so that's really why I do this work. I know we're going to probably talk about that later, but that's really why, you know, when I get up every day, it's thinking, you know, okay, what are we going to do today to impact, you know, someone, whether it's going to be the child, even though we don't provide services to them, but we know that if we can impact those parents and convince them that it's important to be involved in their child's life, then, you know, those children are going to benefit. And one of the things we're doing this year with this grant is we're actually tracking the number of children that are coming through our program.
Yeah.
And what we're finding is that's a high number. You know, we're not talking parents with one kid. We're talking some parents or some fathers that may have anywhere from 5+ kids.
Yeah.
And so we're really trying to instill in them to be responsible, be available, and be there, whether it's writing a letter. You know, maybe Vernon can share that story about how with the jail clients where we actually it's a program where they make paper hugs.
Yeah. Tell me about that. Please do.
Sure. To be honest, when I first heard about it, I thought, "Oh, this is something I'm not going to do. This is too weird.
This is so.
I took over for two ladies in Reno that had put it in there, and wasn't too long before I was just as sold on it as they were. It's interesting. You know, we bring out a roll of paper and we make them lay down and put their arms out. And we line out their bodies, and then we take this home and cut it out for them, and they decorate it. Either some of them were putting their tattoos. They're on their tattoos on it. Some of them just make a face and then say, "I love you," that kind of stuff. And then we get their addresses as long as there's not no contact order. And we worked with the jail to make sure we can send it out to the people, and we mail it out. We mail it with the books that's called "Have You Filled Your Bucket Today?" So it's talks about doing stuff to encourage other people and how it encourages you, and how can you give to people if your bucket's empty.
Right.
So. So we sent it out to them, and we've got a few stories that came back that just touch your heart.
Yeah.
We had this one gentleman say his daughter was having separation anxiety, and he had her on the phone, and she didn't want to go to school, and he goes, "Oh, did you get my hug?"
Yeah.
And she went, "Yes," and he said, "Put me in your backpack and take me to school with you."
Yeah.
And then when you start to feel depressed or a little anxious or just unzip it and look in there, I'll be there. I'll be with you no matter where you go.
Yeah.
And then we've had one that he was an older guy. I mean, he had kids from 30 to 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he wasn't sure he wanted to do it, but he laid down, we lined it out, he sent it home, and the upper age kids got it first.
Okay. Yeah.
So they ran all over Hutch taking selfies with dad's thumb. They called it a thug hug.
Yeah.
And went bowling. They did everything, and then they brought home and gave it to the younger ones.
That's sweet.
And the younger ones it would be movie time, and they share their popcorn with on the couch with dad, and so it's
really cool. And I love hearing that. And I think it's a helpful reminder that, even folks who are incarcerated, they're still human beings. They're still beloved children of God. They still have, connections and people that love them and that people that they love. And to be a part of that, that healing and the sort of acknowledging it really is just really wonderful and powerful. And again, part of that sort of accountability and in the words of our founder, Father Bob Mize, that unconditional love and those second and third and fourth chances. And we live in a world that doesn't always want to give that and doesn't always want to recognize that the importance of all of that. And in my opinion, to the poorer for all of us, but those opportunities to really humanize and to sort of start afresh and renew people's relationships and strengthen them. I mean, we're about the family here, right?
Yes. Yeah. The one thing I like about Project Heart over Fatherhood FIRE was we do the moms couldn't be in it unless dad was in it, and in fatherhood, and we're not only helping them with parenting skills, but as he said, we have a program that's called Together We Can and Elevate. And Elevate works with couples, helps them work better together.
Yeah.
And Together We Can basically takes anyone and says, okay, here's what you need to do to help yourself, but you also need to do what you need to do to help your relationship with co-parenting your children and the rest of your family. And then we get into the parenting part of it. And with this grant, we've been able to, we have 3 different age groups, where before most of it we only had adolescent teens, and then we brought in Tender Solutions, which is junior. And then we found a really nice younger from 0 to 5, at which we kind of couldn't help them, and that kind of bothered me during the last grant. And so we've been able to open up and provide for more and be a little more complete in what we do.
Yeah. And that really feeds into, one of our sort of values as an organization is that innovation, right? And empowerment. Those sort of two sort of sit side by side, and to empower our organization to be able to offer more and more things that will help more and more families. That's fantastic to really be able to innovate and to say, hey, we're missing something here. This is a piece of the puzzle that's not fitting. How do we go out and get what we need to make that happen? How do we cover this gap, and how do we expand what we can do? And it's not a one size fits all kind of situation, right? We what I'm hearing from you guys is really about how we really want to sort of meet people where they're at, understand what their needs are, and then provide what we can to help them. And when I think about sort of all the things we do at St. Francis, the Fatherhood FIRE before it and Project Heart now, it's sort of this small but very mighty team, and it's really wonderful what you guys are doing to make all of this possible. Talk to me a little bit about we've talked about sort of who gets served, but like if I'm sitting here and somebody sent this to me on a text message or an email and said, well, that sounds really great. I want to sign up. How does somebody sort of go about getting involved in one of these programs?
Sure. What we've done is try and make the referral process as simple as possible and as painless as possible. So what we do is we have a referral form. A participant can either call us up and we will do a referral by phone with them, or if they're working with an agency like St. Francis or some of the other child welfare agencies, they will send in a completed referral form to us. Once we receive that referral form, then our team really takes the ball and run with it. We make that first contact, or we try and make that contact within 7 days.
Okay.
Prior to that contact is we send out a welcome video And what that welcome video does, it's just a short 3 or 4 minute video that introduces our team to them. Also just kind of gives them a brief overview of what they can expect in the coming weeks, as far as one of the case managers reaching out to them, setting up a time to do what we call an orientation. Once we complete that orientation, they will then do assessments. What those assessments will do is tell us, okay, of our smorgasbord of services that we have here, what's the best service for this family?
Yeah.
And we look at that, and then the case manager will contact that family. They'll do a treatment plan and kind of a plan of action on what's going to happen. Again, we look at their work schedules. If they're working second shift, and we try and get them in our morning class.
Yeah.
They're working third shift. We try and get them in either our evening or morning class or our Saturday class.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the route that we take there.
Yeah.
Once we get that referral, we really do all the work after that. So if an agency decides to send a referral to us, we let them know that as long as that referral is complete, providing us with their contact information, which would also, and this is all information that the federal government requires us to collect. And it's all private. We don't share the information or anything like that.
Right.
But then we contact them. In this world, it's not so much phone calls anymore. People use social media.
Yeah.
We do a lot of texts, emails. We still use phone calls. And then we also use Zoom to do our classes. We found that Zoom seems to have fewer glitches than some of the other programs.
Right. Yeah.
And it's free. Anyone with a smartphone, which most people have smartphones now, they can download Zoom for free. We have a team that will send them links to either the assessments, because we'll meet, via Zoom with them, if not by phone. And then, they're basically, we make sure they're ready to go when they are assigned a class. We make sure we send letters out to them with the Zoom link. Our facilitators, we think it's real important that we get them to that first class. So the amount of work that we do to get them to that first class is just really, it's just great work.
Yeah.
If a parent does not make it to the first class, it's because they chose not to. We also,
it's not on us.
Yeah, it's not on us. And we also do what we call, we try and remove any barriers. If we have a father or mother that, may have a phone, but it doesn't have enough minutes on it to be doing Zoom classes, our program will send them gift cards. I shouldn't say gift cards, but phone cards.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they're in our program and they're participating, we'll make sure that they have enough minutes to be able to participate in our program. So we're real pleased with that as well.
Yeah. So once you're in, we're going to do everything we can. We're going to move heaven and earth to get you to that class and to get you what you need to participate.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get them by accident. I made a wrong text one day.
Yeah.
One number off and ended up building this relationship with this couple, and they finally sent me something back going, well, we need help. How do we get help? And I was like, oh, well, let me send you this. I asked them the questions, and I sent the referral in for them to.
Yeah. That's great. That's, serendipitous for sure. And I think it's a helpful reminder too that oftentimes when people think about child and family welfare, they think about that's for a certain kind of people, there's really not a family or a couple out there that can't benefit from the help that we provide, and really all of us. No one's perfect. Sure, I know I'm not. My wife has a long list that would tell you how I'm not. And my kids are behind her in line, but all of us can really benefit from what these programs.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I wish I would have known earlier.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that really speaks to what you're talking about facilitating, right? This isn't me telling you because I'm so much smarter and I'm so much better. Right.
We're just there as shove the conversation where it needs to go to end.
Yeah. And so,
to help them realize they know more actually than they thought they did. And sometimes what they know is what not to do.
Yeah.
And we have to give them that positive spin on let's not look at everything we can't do. Let's look at what we can do.
Yeah. And I may know a lot by way of what not to do, but that doesn't mean I know what to do. Right. And so there. Vernon, tell me a little bit about, as a facilitator, tell me a little bit about, your background, your, credentials, your training. What are our facilitators learning so that they can be that guide?
Every curriculum that we teach, we have to go through and go through the training for. Mm-hmm. And then luckily we have some old experience and some new experience, so that the old experience, now that you've got all that new wisdom, can keep you from shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
And they help us actually be able to apply and share that information. And so, every facilitator has been through every class and every training session to be able to be qualified to facilitate the classes that they were hired on to facilitate.
So people are getting really in depth, in terms of understanding, both, what they're sharing, but also they've gone through it.
Every so often we'll get a refresher. Mm-hmm. They change any curriculum or make any adjustments, or if there's just part of it that we don't quite still feel comfortable with it, then Todd and Kelsey are really quick to help us better understand it by getting the people involved that wrote it or as a matter of fact, we were having trouble with Excel and Outlook, and so we got the St. Francis IT guy to have a couple meetings with us to help us better understand how to use that more as a benefit. Than we were able to.
So even learning the things that are facilitating the actual classes and the curriculum itself. We always trying to improve just a little bit every day.
And when we first got some of the programs, some of the videos that were in them were kind of old, and the facilitators have done their research and they went out and found newer, better, more up to date.
Again, that kind of highlights that innovation and that desire to make sure we're providing the best we can.
What makes our team so good? Everybody wants to be the best at what they do.
Yes.
And we want to do it as a team. So it's not one person finding everything and making us use it. It's everybody finds what they have, and then we have a resource page now that has everybody finds something. If somebody finds some new resource, share it down the road and down the line. And so, it's alive.
Yeah. I love, one of the things I love about being at St. Francis is just really how much teamwork goes into everything, and the support that people have, across the organization. And certainly when our different programs and our different services are working together, I mean, we're having a greater impact.
Have a nice 6 months, guys.
Inside our teams, there's often a lot of support, there's always a lot of laughter. There's always a lot of, just trying to figure out how to make this work. What evidence-based practice do we need over here? What common sense thing can I tell you over there? And all that stuff is really cool. Tell me a little bit about success rates. I go ahead and brag.
Sure. And, I don't have the exact numbers, but, we'll go back to the Fatherhood FIRE grant. And I did write down some numbers here. And as far as success, I want to kind of start with, the number of clients we served. In a 5-year period, we served over 650 couples.
Wow.
And this is a grant that really didn't have couples, but we got permission from the federal government to be able to serve them. The reentry or the jail population, we served 413. And then for just individuals that came into the program, that number was 1,021.
Wow.
When you look at that, that's a total number of 2,200 people that we served in a 5-year period. unfortunately, those people needed services.
Yeah.
And what we're finding with the new grant, the Project Heart, at the 6-month mark, we've already hit our target for what we budgeted that we would serve, which was 156
For year one.
for year one. And right now, we have lots of referrals still coming in.
Yep.
But we're not, we're okay with that because, I kind of feel like I'm our coach.
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying to pump up the case managers and facilitators.
Yep.
Their caseloads are a little high right now.
Yeah.
But we do have another case manager that'll be starting up here on Monday.
Fantastic.
So that's going to help lower that caseload number.
Yeah.
But basically, with the HEART grant, we've already met our target for the year, and we still have 6 more months to go because we're on the federal calendar.
Yeah.
So it's, but the nice thing about our grant and about our agency is that we don't just stop. We don't say, okay, we hit our target. We are constantly working those, constantly making sure connections have been met, to get the services that they need. So, and, I really like to support our upper leadership, even my vice president. They really provide services, follow up, support. It allows us to be able to do our job. Sometimes when we have kinks in our program, we kind of come together and say, okay, let's figure out how to fix this,
Yeah.
And so, like Vernon said, it's really a nice team. I know a lot of people will say, oh, I'm on a good team, but we really have a great team.
Yep.
And it's not so much that it's a great team, but it's that we're all kind of on the same bus going in the same direction, where we have the same goal in mind. And that's to help these families, to make sure that we're providing them the best services that we can offer. So.
Yeah, I love to hear that, and I told you're free to brag. Yes, this is your shot at it. So, and I think it's really inspiring. What you guys are doing, and the commitment that you all have to the families in our care, and that success rate. Those numbers. When you think about all those points of contact, all the hard work to meet the needs, the fact that we're way ahead of schedule for the year. All of that translates into what we call our mission here, right? Providing healing and hope, and it's not just sort of a wish and a prayer. I'm pro prayer, as you may guess, but that that we're really taking action to make a difference, and that that's prayer in action, and it is reaching out, and it's connecting, and all of those sort of data points really are human stories that have we've had an impact on, and that's really lovely. As we kind of start to wind down, I'd like to. It's always really helpful to hear kind of. So tell me what motivates you. What's Vernon, why are you doing this? Todd, why are you doing this? I know why, but tell me a story about why.
I think for me, growing up, I was fortunate to have, a father and a mother in the home. They've actually been married, I think, 65 years, I think.
Wow, congratulations. Yes, to them. Yeah.
And just to see my father, the work that he did, he was a deacon in the church.
Okay.
But he came from a very large family.
Yep.
So I can remember being a child, there would be times where some of his siblings' kids would come and live with us.
Yeah.
I'm assuming just to help, the single mothers, I'll be able to just provide, and you have a teenage boy who could eat, everything in the refrigerator,
right,
each meal.
Right. Are you still and they're taking the food out of your hand. Yep.
So really, that inspired me just to see the work that my dad did.
Yeah.
Not only in the church, but, raising us. He took good care of us.
Yeah.
And then, just the whole family dynamic, just the things that I still use with my children. That my parents use with me.
Yeah.
I was lucky I had a support system. One of the things we find out with the families we work with is that it's, you may have Sally that lives in Nebraska, and she may be there all alone, doesn't have any family connection. So I think with our program, sure, we want to get them the relationship classes, and we want to get them the parenting classes, also able to help them with some other things in life, help them get on track. I think we have enough experienced staff that they understand life, and they're able to share some of their life experiences with them and help them get not only get their kids back. That's one of our goals, but we want to make sure that they keep their kids.
Yeah.
And so we really try and fill their tool belt with as many tools as we can. So when hard times hit, whether it's how to look for different resources, or, how do you deal with your teenage child now that may be experimenting with drugs or alcohol? What are you going to pull out of your tool belt for that? And I think we give them that. Each client gets a workbook. So they're able to go back to that workbook and look at that workbook and say, okay, this is how we're going to deal with this or that. So I think for me, that's what I would say it is.
I've just wanted to help and serve.
Yeah.
So whether that was the 22 years of military service, or I'm also a pastor, and this was just one avenue that I had never thought of ever having access to. So it's just been, it's like an extension of my pastorate, only the people I would never have contacts, right?
Yep.
And I just want everybody to have what they need so they can be the best they can be. Whether that's a class on parenting, I don't know anyone who can't use relationship classes.
Yep.
And just to realize that sometime in our lives, we have to stop looking at ourselves as number one and figure out who should really be number one on the list.
Yeah.
And if I can get a mom and a dad in a parenting class or in a relationship class to start looking to the other person instead of looking to self all the time, or both of them to begin to, because I flat out tell them, the moment you had that child, it ceased to be about either one of you and it became all about that child. And if you have any other relationship in that process, then the child's losing.
Yep. Yeah.
And so it's not one-upping dad or keeping dad from being successful. It's what do we have to do together?
Yep. Yep.
To make our child give them everything they need so they can be successful.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've used experience in this job in my sermons on Sundays.
Yep.
So they know all about what I do.
Yeah.
They know, matter of fact, they all know when I go back to jail and they say, be good, so they'll let you back out.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So we also would like you to do that too.
Yes.
So it's just another way that I can serve, and have got access to somebody I wouldn't really normally have access to.
Yeah. I really appreciate that both of you have clearly, that servant heart, that mindset of how do we help people be better? How do we contribute positively to families and to our communities? Like I said before, this is a small program, but it is a mighty program, and it makes a mighty big difference for folks. As you were reflecting, as both of you were reflecting, I was reminded, was recently saw a couple that I had done some premarital counseling with about 11 years ago, and I saw them at a funeral, and we're chit-chatting, and one of them said, I still remember the stuff you said about in that premarital counseling stuff we were doing, and I was sort of shocked and surprised. I mean, in a positive way. We do these classes, we try to teach folks, we facilitate things, we want to guide people, and sometimes we don't know whether or not it makes a difference. But I was delighted that they remembered something that I'd said. Yeah. But I can only imagine what that's like for the both of you to have those interactions, those encounters with folks, and to really know you're planting seeds and watering seeds and seeing some of those seeds even grow, and how rewarding it is to be a part of work like that. And I really want to say thank you for your inspirational work here at St. Francis. As always, the ubiquitous thing we have to say at the end of a podcast. If you want to learn more, where should we go?
They can reach out to us. The St. Francis website. We have a page on there. That page is really explains everything. If you go there, it also has a referral there. You can do an online referral form. And again, it's just a one-page referral form. We're not asking for a lot of information. Once we receive that information, then myself or Kelsey will reach out to them and get them set up in our program. And again, within 7 days, we're making that first contact, or attempting
We're trying.
first contact. And once we get, like we say, once we get them to that first class, just because of the way the program is set up, we have very good success with that. I don't know exactly what our dropout rate is, but it's a very low number.
That's
typically it's, the people that drop out, it's because either the child went home and they've kind of met that goal, so they sometimes drop out, or even those families, they will actually keep coming to our classes, just to finish it up. So, also, I would like to mention that, one of the things that we built into our program is incentives. We talked about, the barrier removal. We also incentivize our participants. If they come to that first class, they're going to get a gift card sent to them.
Nice.
If they complete the program, they get a gift card. And then also if they have perfect attendance, which we tend to have a lot of those, perfect attendance, we provide a gift card for that as well. So they actually can, they're pretty incentivized to attend our program. Our program is a long program or a longer program, but the information that they take away from it, I don't think we've ever had anyone say, your program stinks because it's so long or anything like that. It's always, is there another class?
What can I do next?
And unfortunately, we just, we run out of programs.
I just had a mom who I got her in the first class was available, which was the active parenting for the 0 to 5s. And she had one that was 5 and one that was 7. And as soon as that class was over, she rolled over into the next age, because the 5-year-old was now 6 and the 7-year-old, and she's like, and I'll be back when they're teenagers.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If you were to, we're who knows who's seeing this on YouTube right now, but if you knowing that there's somebody out there watching, what else can we say to those folks, either folks who are looking to participate or support? What do we need in terms of community support? What do we need in terms of what will really make this successful?
I think, just being able to reach out to us, get our information, get a referral completed, and then let us do the rest of the work. We don't look at a referral as just another piece of paper. We look at it as a person. And our team spends a lot of time trying to get a hold of them, whether it's through phone call, text, email. So it's not that we're going to receive a referral and just call them once and say, okay, I tried, close the case. They really spend a lot of time trying to get, in contact with these families. So I think.
Then you have the soft-hearted ones like me that keep them forever.
We'll just never let them go. Yeah, who would have ever thought that a referral form itself would be a paper hug?
It's
exactly.
And the one thing that I near the end of the fatherhood, when we first started going back into Saline County, we had 17 participants. And that was the first time I asked them, okay, how many children do you have? And I just started writing down children. And in that 17 men that were in this class, 74 children.
Wow. Yeah.
Were going to be affected by what we were able to get them to understand.
Yeah.
And that's why I begged them when we started this one, let's keep the number of kids, because they're the ones that are lost in the system that get forgot about while we're trying to help mom and dad. And those referral forms isn't just a mom and a dad, it's families.
Yeah.
As families.
And so that's why we bend over backwards. That's why I give them a little extra time in the system if they're hard to get a hold of, because I want them to get as much as they can, hopefully to the end. But if every time that they're there, there's nothing stopping them from getting more.
Right. Correct.
And that's, like I said before, when we first start, they don't want to be there. But by the time we get them to the end, if we get them to the end of the class, nobody wants to leave.
Yeah.
Because when you love unconditionally and you help them help themselves,
Mm-hmm.
who wants to leave that supportive environment?
Right.
No.
And to be honest, that's something I would like to see happen as we go on, is that some connection after.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ask me, well, do you know anything about these people now? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to sort of see what the alumni network would sort of look like for all those years you guys have been doing this.
Just so they have someplace to go to remind them you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Guys, thank you so much for coming and talking with me today and having this great conversation about Project Hired and the programs we provide in this area at St. Francis. As always, if you want to find out more, please go to our website at www.stfrancisministries.org and you can find out all you need to know and participate and help participate in this and support the work we do here. Thank you for joining us today, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you.